First of all, let me just say welcome. I'm glad to see some people here. I know there was some issues with the advertising and there's some things went down, so maybe not as big as a group, but if you know anybody who wanted to attend or anybody who else might be interested in this kind of a program, I would invite you to take my information down, which will be up here in just a second, and get in touch with me. Or if we don't answer some of your questions, like Greg said, go ahead and put it in the chat right away. But sometimes I get a little long-winded and I'm not paying attention. So if I don't see it and get right to it, we'll definitely get to it at the end. There'll be time to ask some questions if you guys have any. Or feel free to interrupt too. That's totally fine to do. And so without further ado, let me just introduce myself. My name is Ethan. I work with Merced College, and I work in our outreach department, specializing in career technical education in the recruitment. So what we're doing right now, recruiting for people to join our programs, and also in the internal support. So once you get into our programs are special in that we have an entire support team that is built to support you, to help you through all of your enrollment steps, to help you through financial aid. If you're having troubles with books or whatever, what have you, we are here for you. And there's quite a few of us. I'll go to the next slide here. So as you can see, this is your Fast Track CTE support team. Fast Track, we're called that because these programs, especially the one we're talking about today, we promote them as an accelerated program. So Fast Track, because you can get them done in an accelerated amount of time. And they are built that way to try to get you skills and maybe to get you straight to work or whatever your goal might be. It's to help you get there faster. So your team here, just so you know, this would be a good time if you are interested to at least take down my phone number or my email address, just in case you get disconnected or anything happens. You know, our team is 5 people. It's me, Sarah, who is my counterpart. She does exactly what I do, but assists particularly with veterans. We have Araceli, Counselor Araceli, who is bomb.com. You will get to know her well. And we have Autumn and Mackenzie, who are our leader. Well, Autumn is our leader of our little group, and Mackenzie is her assistant. So we all work together as a team to support you guys and to support our programs to make sure that you are successful. So if you ever decide to join Merced College in one of our programs, you will want to be talking to us for sure, for any of your needs. So moving away from me, let's talk about this slide here, the word slide, the one with all the words. So what are we here for? So today we're going to be talking about our computer and networking technology program that we have with Merced College. And just to kind of give you an idea of what it is about. So I'm going to read this pretty much verbatim, but just so you know, so our computer and networking technology program, what it is it's preparing you for employment. That is what we really want to do, our certificate program in the field of IT, right? Information technology. By providing you with good training in how to operate a computer, how computers are designed, how they're built, how to install them, how to troubleshoot them, and how to repair networks and do all those same things with networks as well as PCs. You're going to learn about electricity, electronics in general, how and why electronic devices work. You know, when you look at a board, you're like, well, what's going on in there? And this program will hopefully give you a little insight into why and how those things work and how those components work together to make a computer do what we want it to do. The other part is we're going to obviously learn how to build and maintain networks and connect them to the internet. So there are many types of networks, right? There's local networks, there's wider networks, there's the entire internet, which is just a huge collection of networks. And how to do that for all types of businesses, whether it's a super small, you know, mom and pop shop, or you know, Merced College, or a huge conglomerate, you know, that needs to have a network like, I don't know, the Google building. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of something out of my head here. And you'll learn about security protocols, wireless networks, and all the hardware and software that goes together with all of that. And so I am here really to push the certificate side of this program. So a certificate program is a program that you can complete where you just learn the core classes. So classes for computer networking and things that go along with that. But you can, of course, stretch this program into whatever your goal is. If you want to go and get an associate's degree, you can definitely do that with this program. Or let's say you're working in the business, but your employer said, or you know somebody, and the employer said, hey, you know, you've been working here for 25 years, but you're going to have a degree now for whatever reason. you can also do that. This program can be built for that, to take a person who already has skills to get them the certifications that they need to continue on in their field. So, and with that, I don't know if you have anything to add. We do have here with us today, I did not introduce, but we have Brigu. Is it Selly? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Selly. So Mr.
Yeah.
Selly's here, and he is an instructor in our program this semester. He will be expanding on some things because obviously he's the pro and knows a lot about it. Is there anything you wanted to add at this point about the program, about just an overview about what it's about?
So let me talk a little bit about the program. So the thing is, what generally networking allows you to do is, if you are doing it, allows you to update your skills to, one, connect computers, as Ethan said. Two, it allows you to do several other things, configure, set up infrastructure, and it's a step to actually IT essentially. So it will take you to it's a stepping stone for you to make a career in IT. You know, most careers in IT are network and infrastructure. So maybe after doing this, few years down the line, you may be in procurement of infrastructure. You know, you may be in setting up of infrastructure. You may be in designing infrastructure. So when you talk about infrastructure, is you're talking about computers, you're talking about networking, you're talking about connecting devices to the network, you're talking about, you know, fixing, you're talking about troubleshooting, you're talking about customer support. So technical support for networking, you know, making basically access lists for people. So you can do a lot of that there, you know. And we do different areas of networking also. We also do prepare for CCNA, you know, which is a certification which actually would help you open doors. You know, right now, if you do not have experience in networking, then if there is a job in networking, there is nothing on your resume says that you have experience in networking. But if you say I have a CCNA or a certificate, there is something on there which actually will say you have experience or you worked in that area. So it will open doors, and it will open doors for actually you being a qualified professional. You know, you can build on top of it if you want to go do an associates or transfer to another school at some point after the associates. You can totally do that. You know, this is
Yeah.
a stepping stone where you can start working while you are doing that. You know.
Yes, correct. And a lot of it is, you know, you might be learning a lot on the job as well. And that's a good point to make. So this is, and we talked about this a little bit the other day when we met in a separate meeting, that, there's computer science, which is like, if you really want to go to the next level and learn, like, the theories behind, well, I don't even know what, that's like way beyond my scope of knowledge. But needless to say, yes, this is exactly what it is. It's to get you in there. And then, I know for a fact, just to quickly touch on it, but here at Merced College, we have several people who have worked for us. And they move around in their positions all the time because they're learning the skills while they're there. And that might not even be their specialty, but they've picked it up. And like you said, that stepping stone got them there. And they're making it happen there. They're getting good money, and they're secure in their employment. So that's good stuff. And we'll talk about all the classes that you'll take in this a little bit later. And I'll lean on you, Brigu, for that one. But let's move on, because here we go getting long-winded. So okay, so I kind of already talked about this. So let's talk a little bit about the different ways you can do this program. On the left side here is, like, you see, let's say you're just like, you're really motivated. You're like, I just want to get the certificate, and I want to see if I can find myself like some employment so that, I can see if this is what I like to do, a help desk or whatever, and grow my skills. So we have a 2-semester program that is built just for that. You will be taking just these electronic computer classes to get all the skills that you need in order to get this certificate that will go on your transcript, and you'll be able to have possibly those certifications like CCNA and all that Mr. Stelly was talking about. So right now, our classes, this go around of computer networking was a little screwed up. We had to switch a lot of classes around because of coronavirus, and so classes that were normally taught in spring got taught in fall, and they switched them all up. So right now, classes are completely 100% online. But in fall, the plan is to go back to face-to-face instruction. So with that being said, it should go back to normal, and you would be doing a more regular schedule, which I'll talk about in the next slide. The other part of the FAST program is that, like I mentioned, you have access to the dedicated support team. So that is not something that we have in all of our programs. This is something that we only have in about 8 or 9 of them, where we have sort of like a completion team to help you get through here and support you throughout your stay. And if getting it done fast is great, but there is a time commitment there. If you're working full time, it might not work out for you. So if that's just, too much going on, you can't be there all the time for the classes, you can just take a few of them. So the way we have this set up is we have the classes so that there are two groups of people running in the same time, the same instructor, the same exact thing. It's just that we save a couple seats for a few people who maybe they can't take full-time classes, or maybe they've already taken some of the classes. And so they can't register into them because of the way the system works. So know that there is an option out there if you're only looking to take a few classes, or you have like schedule limitations. And if you do decide that you want to take the few classes, just know that, like I said, you can get a degree in this. So you would be able to take maybe general education classes on the side. If you were taking just a few of the electronics classes, you could throw on your English class. And as you go through piece by piece, you might be able to complete your whole degree, doing it part-time like that. It'll take a little longer, but it is possible. And even though you're in those alternate pathways, you still have access to us, the support team, to help you out. So just think, as long as you're in one of those sections, you are going to get help from us if you need it. So there are options out there depending on your availability. So I did want to talk about, every time I see this slide, I trip myself out because that just doesn't make any sense, right? That schedule looks so confusing. I couldn't actually pull a schedule for computer networking because it's online. So there's no scheduled times, but this is pretty much what it would look like. You see on the top, you have your days of the week, and on the left side, you have your times. Normally, it would be not like exactly like this, but it'd be about 8 to about 3:30 or 4, Monday through Thursday. And the reason why this schedule looks so crazy is because you can see on the Monday column at 8 a.m., there's like 5 classes there. The reason for this is because the way that we organize this is that, let's say there are 5 classes in this program for the fall semester. You are not taking all 5 at once. So you are usually signed up for about 2 or maybe 3 at a time, and you are completing those within about maybe like a month and a half or so. And so you go through those 3 classes and then you finish them. And then 2 or 3 more start, and you go through that for a couple more months, and then you're done. And so you're not taking all 5, you're only taking a few at a time, because that would be way overwhelming to have them all be at the same time. So that's the reason why this schedule looks like this, but you would only be doing a couple of these. And so actually I kind of touched on all those things, didn't I? And so of course, financial aid is available. Even if you decide I'm going to just do the certificate, I don't want the associate degree, I just want to go to work, I need to support my family or whatever, financial aid is available for any level that you want to do. The classes you take, it doesn't matter, they're all supported under the financial aid rules. So something to keep in mind, about the way the classes are set up. Obviously, if you did an alternate pathway, your schedule would look different than this. You'd have to make it fit whatever you do. So moving on. Oh yeah, there is no internet. Does that look familiar to anybody? I love that, because you know what, this is exactly why you're going to be taking this program, right? Or this schedule of classes, because you want to, you're going to be the person people are going to be calling, right, when this happens. So this is literally the classes that you would be taking in this entire program. You can see there's, 5 on top, and I think it's about 6 on the bottom. So I usually, dinosaur game. I usually like to list these classes in the order that they are taken, but because it was so screwed up this time around, and I'm only started working in this position last year, I don't know the order that they normally are in. So if you have any insight on that, Brigwood, that would be great. But for sure, this is the order that the classes will go in. You can see your first semester is 17 units, which is way more than full-time. Full-time's 12 or more. So in the second semester, which is what we are in right now, there are people right now enrolled not exactly in these classes, but in this many classes to finish up their program. So usually what we do is we go through one by one, but maybe if you can just touch on some of the ones that are more interesting, or the ones you were talking about certifications in.
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about that. So you have few classes here, which are basically networking, where we will teach you how to network, put computers together, how to put boxes in place that will allow multiple computers to talk to each other. Now, and then you will look at some equipment, which would be either AC, DC equipment. You look at some project management, some fabrication, some repair. You'll also look at basically, so the ones that you look at is networking. So we introduced in what networking is. then how you're going to be connecting multiple computers, how you're going to be routing multiple computers, and then you look into some of the applications, computer applications, which will be like Office, Excel, some of the basic technologies to get your work done. Then you do look into some little bit of digital logic, circuits, topologies, how cabling is done, how different types of cable connect, how uh, like how different cables uh, uh, determine the speed of your network, how different cables determine uh, how long the cable can go, all those factors when you're actually trying to design a network. And then you will be designing networks and you'll be putting them together. You'll also be getting a certification in fixing computers, which basically is the A plus certification. So you will be getting a lot of things that will enable you, one, to be able to look at computers, see what's wrong, and then also look at computers why they're not talking to each other, so all of that you'll actually look at.
Yes. Yeah, this is, let me tell you guys, okay, if well, I don't want to say if anymore. Okay, so when we were on campus and we would be giving tours of this program, whenever I got to this room, this is when my heart, like, it really just like took off, because if there's one thing I may in my life change my career into, it would be something in IT, because I know that my heart definitely lies like in this. And I just, if you're here, I'm assuming it's because you find it interesting like I do. And so this is like Mr. Stelly said, this is a very good stepping stone. That A+ certification, the CompTIA, is where, you take a test. I've never done it, but I know that you take a test and they give you scenarios, and you have to pretty much answer in a way that would be, the way that you've learned on how to repair things or whatever the questions ask you. So all those certifications help you to build your resume, to make you more employable, to make you more, technically have aptitude, right? So that you know what you're doing and you can prove to employers that, you're serious about the game. That CCNA one, I don't, it's a Cisco Certified Network something,
Yeah,
associate or something like that.
Cisco network certification is basically you take 45A, 45B, 45C, and 45D, and you can apply for that certification.
For the Cisco certification, yeah. And so Cisco, just in case you
For the
don't know,
Cisco
is
certification.
a huge conglomerate company based in San Jose, in the heart of Silicon Valley. And so, having those kinds of certifications built on top of your actual certificate, the computer and networking technology certificate, it just goes so far to help you to further your career. And so all these things, if you think about it, I go into this thinking, oh yeah, with networking, you just plug, some cables into the router. But like Mr. Stelly said, there's so much more that goes into that. Like, how long can this cable be? How many computers are there going to be on the network? There's all these things to consider, like the shortest route it has to take, the internet traffic. There's so many things behind the scenes. And these are the kinds of things that you'll be learning about. So very, very interesting. If I could change my career, or maybe if I want to, I might go this route. So that's just kind of a little breakdown about what goes on in these classes. And again, it moves so fast. It's only a year long, and you're going to be learning all these things. Merced College, I mean, right now, what are you guys doing right now? You're using simulation software? Is that what
Yeah,
you're using to teach?
we use simulation software. Yeah.
So they're using simulation software, because normally you would be in the labs on campus, and Merced College has a teeny weeny little skinny room where everybody sits, and then they have a lab next door that I don't know exactly what they do in there, but it's like a whole thing where you get hands-on experience, with all these different cables and electronic things and all that. So regardless, if we are back in, then you will be in that actual lab getting your hands-on experience, or you'll be using simulation software to get that experience. So very, very cool. I get myself excited every time I talk about this. But again, if you guys have any questions about something in particular, don't be shy to throw it in the chat, or hop out onto the Zoom. So I already spoiled this one. I mean, there's not much here. So the certificate, so this is the actual certificate. This is the name of the certificate you would be going for. Actually, that picture right there is a pretty good representation of what our computer lab looks like, where we normally have these classes. This isn't actually it, but it's set up almost identically. So this is what you would be sitting with your friends and class, learning and everything. And this is a certificate you would be working towards. So you would be taking all of these classes that we just listed on that last slide. And once you complete all of those with a C or better, then you can get the certificate. you would, that would be fall and spring, and then you would apply and you would have your certificate by the summer. And certificates, are great. They can get you going. Like I said, if you want to go to work, you can do that. What's going on? How come I can't move forward? Oh, there we go. Yeah, but and we talked about this. What if you want to go big? What if you get in there and you're like, no, I need to go all the way. I see who I want to work for. They need at least an associate's degree. You can get that associate degree too. That's just adding on your general education to the computer and networking technology classes. So that would be all of your English classes, your math, your histories, all those areas that you have to fulfill to get that well-rounded general education. You would just add those on, and then you can have the associate's degree, which typically takes about 2 years to get. So you would already have your year done with the certificate, so it would just be another year for general ed at the most. And there's my little arrow animation. So, and then from there, like Mr. Sully was saying, if you really are just like, I'm so into this, you can branch off into other areas and grow, like he says, there might be a new IT centric degree coming out. Maybe you could go down that route, or maybe you're like, I really just love computers and I need to know the physics behind why they work. You can go on that computer science path and grow your knowledge. So something to think about, and Merced College offers all of those. So, okay, so that's great, Ethan. I love all this, but like, what am I going to do with this degree, right? Are you going to give me a certificate, and then what's going to happen? So I just went online. I love the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS. It is a government-run website, and what they do is they gather all the data for jobs around the entire country. And so what I did is I went on and I pulled up pretty much what this job falls under. Like if you were to be a network technician or a help desk specialist or something like that. So it's a little small, you guys. Sorry if you're on a phone, but what you can see here is that this job pays very, very well. This is a median, so that's like in the middle, right? Median salary is like almost $26, a little more than that per hour. That's great. That's great. That's good money, for especially in this area. I would say that's good money. And also, oops, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to read this. It's so small. Okay, I just noticed something on this map. This is going to be great. So if you'll take a look at this map, just in case you didn't know, so this is a map of the United States, Alaska, and there's even Puerto Rico way over there on the far right, I just noticed. What this map is telling you is that this job, if you'll notice, this is the whole United States, you can take this anywhere, right? So this is not just something that you have in California. This isn't just something that you have in Texas or New York or Florida, bigger states. You can take this anywhere. You can take it to Wyoming. The only thing I just noticed at this map is that little tiny white dot in the middle of California, that is Merced County. And so what that's saying is that it's not saying we don't have any jobs, it's saying there's no data. There's no data available. So I wish I could tell you exactly how many were in Merced. I'm gonna assume it's very similar to like Stanislaus County right above us, kind of that forest green color. So you can see there are jobs all up and down the state of California, all over the entire United States. Some people like me really like the Central Valley. I hate the weather, but I love it here. I would probably never leave. But if you're just like, no, I don't, I gotta go, then look at where you can go with this. Anywhere. In Puerto Rico, beautiful Puerto Rico, why not? So just, and look also at the job outlook there. If you see near the bottom of that chart, it says 8%, much faster than average. So what that means is that this job, as is probably common sense, is going to grow. It's going to grow at a much faster rate than the average job, which would be about 3% in the United States, because everywhere needs IT. Everywhere literally needs IT. Everything is electronic. Everything is connected. You've heard of the Internet of Things. All these things require people with these skills. So know that if you decide to get a certificate, or even to explore the idea of it, that this is a field that it can be very rewarding financially. If you're like me, it can be very personally rewarding because it's something you could be passionate about. And also it's got a secure future. Technology is where it's at. So just something to think about, if you're thinking about careers. And of course, like Mr. Selly said, you don't have to just be a network technician, right? It's a stepping stone to your future, wherever your desires may take you. You know, there may be something you've never even heard of in IT that you would just love to do that you've never even heard of yet. So think about it in that way. All right, and you know what, just ignore that. I had a success story, but unfortunately at first it did not get it to me in time, so I don't know what it is. But we've had people leave from this program. I guess I should stay there. We've had people leave from this program to get jobs. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm just going to say that if I can get you a good success story and you want to hear it, just contact me. The person I reached out to just didn't reply in time. So, okay. So this is a really, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I can talk about it a little bit more though. So
Yeah,
generally, if you
please.
see, there are amazing number of jobs in the Bay Area, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours basically. And the good part is it's transferable. That means if you change jobs, then your experience will count because the networking doesn't change. You know, the basic concepts for everything company to company is very similar. So it's an evergreen uh, certification. You may have to update it from time to time, but it's an evergreen. You don't forget it. You know, like if you everybody connects computers, everybody has wireless networks, everybody has problems in terms of wireless networks going away. So it carries over from one company to another company. Now, sometimes what happens is you are doing work in retail. Then, if your experience is somewhere, when you change jobs, that experience may or may not count. In this case, it will always count. So that's another different thing about networking is it's evergreen.
It just, I can't stress it enough. Like we all know it's everywhere. I mean, like just last week, you know, everything crashed in my house, and it's just technology. That's something I wish somebody could explain to me. You know, if the computer is programmed to do one thing, like why when I'm using my computer every single day, and everything's working fine, and then I go yesterday to try to move a tab in my Chrome browser just to move it into a different order, and I got the blue screen of death. And that was it. And it just crashed. And I'm like, what, why? You know what I mean? I need someone to explain that to me about why that happens. So that's why you need to get into this field, because you need to figure out a way to solve these problems, because people like end users like me or us all right now are super frustrated by all of that. So that's yeah, updating your skills and moving them around and climbing the little IT ladder is definitely a big bonus. I wish I can't zoom in here. I don't know how to do that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sully, for that insight. So, okay, one more thing. This is extremely important. So here is where Merced College, I think, really can shine for you. So what I would like to show you is that I just pulled this morning, I guess, or yesterday. What this is a nearby school that we have. I won't name any names because I don't want to throw any shade, but this is an actual printout from a program that is nearly identical to ours in every way. There's probably, I want to say, like 2 or 3 different classes, but it's a networking program, a certificate program. So pay attention. Like, do you see that number right there? $34,952. So that is on the tuition line. If you look to the left, it says tuition. That is just the amount that school is charging you. This is a year-long program to get on the roster, essentially. To put your name onto the roster, that is what they are charging you, $35,000 essentially, which is like, that face does not even express that feeling that you're going to get when you see that bill, because financial aid will not even get close to covering that on grant money. The maximum grant money you can receive in federal is $6,500 this year. So that will not even get close to paying $35,000. That is an insane amount of money for somebody who is in school and has no job, let's say. Merced College, how much do you think it would cost? I mean, normally in person, I'd probably be asking you guys, but I don't want to, you know. So just so you know, this same exact tuition fees at Merced College is $1,600. That is it. It's $46 per unit. And the whole program for the year is going to cost $1,600. I mean, that's not even 5% of that amount, I don't think. And that's just crazy. And also to say that financial aid, like I mentioned, how much federal financial aid you can get possibly, it might cover every single penny of that. And if you're a first-time student here and you're leaving high school, you know that community college is free for 2 years, right? So this is something that sets us apart in a big way from these schools. You don't leave with $40,000 in debt. You're going to hopefully leave here with no debt. And in fact, you might even be leaving with cash in your pocket, because when I went to school as a student, I actually got money because I had no income and I got more money than I spent to go to school. So definitely that would be a huge advantage. And the community college atmosphere as well. Community college is very different from even a four-year college or a technical school. So the experiences you get here in the one-on-one, I think, is an important benefit besides the money side of it. So definitely think about that before you go off. A lot of people who try to do these career technical education programs go to the UTI schools or DeVry or those schools where they charge amounts like this. And there's really no need to, especially since Merced's right in your backyard. So moving on, so just a little bit about financial aid. I kind of already mentioned it, but just so you know, if you are a graduating high school senior or you are going to be graduating from a high school and you come to Merced College and it's your first time, your first 2 years are completely free. There are no charges, and all you have to do is be enrolled full-time, which is 12 units, which this program is. It is more than 12 units per semester. So as long as you are taking this program, you are not going to pay one shiny nickel for enrollment fees. Books and other things like that, that's a whole other conversation, but that $35,000 will not be charged to you. So all you have to do to be eligible for this is just do your financial aid application, or if you are an undocumented student or you have some other kind of immigration status, you can do the CATA, the California Dream Act application, and you would possibly be eligible for the Promise as well. So this also, so that's for graduating high school seniors. But if you've already been to college, and let's say you went and you failed, you dropped out, or for whatever reason you've already taken a class, you can still get almost exactly the same thing. It's named almost the same thing as well. It's called the Promise Grant. All you need to do again is just to apply for financial aid, and as long as you fall within certain income limits and it's fairly generous, then you will have the same thing. You won't pay any fees to enroll. Most people qualify. I think it's over 70% of people qualify for some form of the Promise or the Promise Grant, which means no enrollment fees. So definitely think about that. And don't be scared to apply for financial aid, because I know a lot of people come to me and, oh, I know I won't qualify and all this. So, here we go. Ethan, I know I'm not going to qualify. I am not going to apply for financial aid because I know my parents make too much money. Something happened and I just know I won't qualify. Okay, my answer to you is apply. You need to apply because you just don't know. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot because you think that you know something that might not be true. Let financial aid figure it out. It costs nothing to apply, and the benefits that you can get from applying far outweigh the risk of them just telling you no. So, there are instances, like I said, about 80 to 85% of people get financial aid. But there are instances where people don't qualify. Their parents are balling, or they're balling. They got a full-time job and they're making good money, or you have a lot of inheritance. I don't know. You got land, or you just got money. So that's okay. There are other forms of financial aid available if you really, for some reason don't qualify. The first one would be scholarships. We award well over $100,000 a year in scholarships. Scholarships are free money. It's grant money, and they award it for various reasons. It can be based on your major, like it may be a STEM major or a computer science major, or computer technology major would qualify for one, or if you are a first-generation Hispanic student, you might be able to qualify for another. So depending on different factors, we have a big, thick book like this thick of scholarships that you can apply for that range from hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars that can help you to pay for your education. And those are only available in March. So if you are thinking of attending this fall, you need to be sure to apply for scholarships this year, like next month, even though you're not even going to college yet. So the other ones we have kind of run through these, but they might still be available next semester. We're giving out $300 to students who needed assistance with textbooks. The only qualification was that you were enrolled full-time. That was it, and they gave you $300 for books. You know, during these coronavirus times, there is a lot of extra money being spent on student success. And we realize people are kind of like going through it. So you will see a lot of these programs where they're giving extra money for books. If you do not have a laptop or your computer just sucks, it's really slow, or if we have to be online and it can't run the sim software or something, we have laptops available for you to lend you until we are in person again. So these are brand new, pretty much unlocked laptops. They've got good processors, lots of RAM, so they'll work very well for your program if you need them. And again, all you have to do to qualify is to be full-time student. Actually, you don't even need to be full-time. As long as you're enrolled, you can get a laptop. And also brand new that is just coming out, actually, I just got an email right before this started. We are now giving out mobile hotspots. So if you don't have internet at your home, you live out in the cuts, these are run off of AT&T's mobile network, I believe. And so you can receive 4G or up to 5G speeds at home with the mobile hotspot that works just like, you know, like you'd have Wi-Fi in your house pretty much. So that is available. And again, all you have to do is be enrolled and apply for them, which if you are coming for fall, your enrollment will be sometime in April. So just keep that in mind. Once you are enrolled, you can apply for all of these items. If you're having trouble getting your textbooks, we have all the textbooks pretty much inside the library. So right now, a lot of people are utilizing this. What the library is doing is, if you're taking a class and you're like, I need chapters 1 and 2 of the book, they will scan those entire chapters and then they will make them into a PDF and then email them to you. And you can get up to, depending on the length of your class, you can get so many chapters per week. So that's a huge service. If like, for instance, financial aid money, if you were to apply for it, it isn't given out until the first week of school. So there's a chance that you might have an assignment due before you actually get your financial aid money to buy your books. This would be a service that you could utilize to get those textbook pages so that you can do the work. The other big one is working out of Merced County. This is a huge program that we do utilize because so in our program, in case you don't know, our fast track program, the goal is to get you in and get you skills and then get you hopefully to work if that's what you want to do. And we work with WorkNet of Merced County, who specializes in developing these relationships with local employers and setting them up with people like you who would be completing our programs or in our programs who are looking for work. But they can also assist with textbooks and supplies, any of your required items. They can help you with building your resume, with doing job interview skills. If you've never interviewed before, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? They can help you with referrals to jobs or getting you a job. If your employer, which I believe computer networking qualifies, is within certain areas that Merced County serves, certain industries, then they can offer your employer up to 6 months. They will reimburse them half of your salary as an incentive to hire you. So that is a huge benefit that WorkNet offers you. And I would encourage you to use their services. Even if you're not going to join the program, utilize WorkNet. They are a huge service here in our county. And if all else fails and you can't get any help, you know, it would be very unlikely, but we do have payment plans available. So if you get stuck with the bill and you just have to pay, we offer a payment plan. I think you can do 4 payments over the semester. You won't be dropped from your classes if you don't pay right away, but you could split it up into 4. So if it really comes down to it, there's always an option. Whew, that was a mouthful. Okay, so we are wrapping it up here because I want to leave time for you guys to ask some questions. So just to kind of touch on a few of these, I won't go into all of them. I just talked about assistance with paid internships. So actually, that is one of the things I do want to talk about. So throughout our program, like I said, our goal is to hopefully get you in, get you educated, and then get you employed or get you to an internship. So we do host workshops every week, usually, or not every week, a couple times a month. We will help you to build your resume, your cover letter, and also to do mock interviews with you over Zoom right now so that you can get comfortable with answering questions on the spot and getting yourself, just getting your answers in order. So we do that because what happens is Autumn, who I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, she will work and has connections with local employers, kind of like WorkNet. And if we hear from your instructors that you are a good student and you are doing your work and you're really cool, you're taking leadership roles, you're friendly, and you do all these workshops, then we're going to take that to heart. And your instructor says, this person's like Elijah's the bomb. You got to do something for him. We will put you to the front of the line to try to get you employment, or like not to actually get you hired, but to get your foot in the door. And that's a huge, huge benefit. Don't just shrug it off, because sometimes it isn't always about what you know. Sometimes it really is about who you know. So if you have that little hookup there, take advantage of it. Take advantage of all the services we offer, because it can help you in your career moving forward. The only other thing I think I really want to touch on here is just a dedicated CTE counselor. So Araceli Gonzalez, she is our CTE counselor, and she has been doing this for years on years on years. Okay. She knows everything like the back of her hand, and she is a good resource to go to for support. A lot of people prefer to talk to her before me. I don't know why. It's just the way it is. Sometimes people like to talk to a woman and not a guy. I don't know. So you can speak to her just like you would speak to me. We talk to each other every day, her and I, and we work to help you get the support that you need. But she's going to be the person to get you your classes, help you apply for your degree, and do all those kind of counselor things for you. So just keep in mind, you have a dedicated counselor. That'll be the only one you'll speak to, hopefully, because like I said, she's got it going on with all the instructors, and she knows the latest with the programs. So all that being said, which was a lot, I know, you guys, I'm so sorry. I blabber a lot. So we want you to be this lady here, okay? I want you to be hugging the computer. You love the computer. You want to be networking tech. You want to go into IT. Maybe you want to go big and go all the way and be something even way more than that. I don't know. You want to be the next Bill Gates and invent Windows 2.0. You just need to call me, okay, or email me. We are getting close to registration time, so if you are going to be thinking of coming for fall, a new program starts in the fall, and we need to get you started on your enrollment steps right away, because space is limited. These programs sometimes do fill up quickly, and we want to be sure to get you enrolled. There are some programs I might be able to get you in to get you to the top, like the front of the line for registration. So if you're even remotely interested, please contact me as soon as possible. As you can see, we only take about 25 students, so it can fill up. It is a popular program. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot more to say. I don't know if you wanted to add anything, Mr. Selly or Craig. Again, this is our support team here. Go ahead and take our information down if you didn't take it the first time. But other than that, if anybody has any questions, I think now would be a good time, unless you have anything to add, Mr. Selly.
It's a fun program. It's a good area to get into, and it's remaining in tech, which actually helps. It will only grow, so it's an investment to your career, I would say.